So thank you all for joining us for the 2020 CAdmit Weekend Keynote speech. In a few moments, Rita Phetmixay will share her insight and experiences of how her Southeast Asian background has impacted her academic and career life, how she gives back to the Southeast Asian community through her work, and how CAdmit can help our community move forward. Now, to go over some brief introductions, my name is Thuy-Anh and I'm one of the professional outreach coordinators for CAdmit Weekend. I would like to extend the deepest gratitude to the program chairs and staff, student attendees, and Rita for their efforts to adapt to the circumstances and come together virtually as a community. It is my honor to introduce Rita Phetmixay, a second-generation Lao Isan American, politicized healing practitioner, social entrepreneur, independent audio producer, and an award-winning filmmaker based in Los Angeles, California. Rita's work is inspired by her own traumatic experiences of overcoming domestic violence and sexual assault, fueling her to address the complex issues of refugee familial intergenerational trauma, healing, and resilience in her current podcast and consulting platform, Healing Out Loud. We hope that hearing her story and advice will inspire you to connect with your Southeast Asian identity and succeed in the galaxy of possibilities that awaits you at UCLA and beyond. And with that, I turn it over to Rita.
Yay! All right, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. All right, we're gonna make this as fun as possible. That speech for y'all. Thank you so much for this honor, CAdmit program. This is incredible. So why don't we begin? Happy Saturday, everybody. So Sabaidi and hello to my admits of UCLA class of 2024. Yeah. First of all, congratulations. You have to the next round of life, and your acceptance into the #1 public university in the nation is such a huge accomplishment. And I am so honored to be your virtual keynote, and I send warm, consented hugs to you and your full families during these challenging times in COVID-19. And I hope you are celebrating and living your best lives, because this accomplishment should be recognized by so many people who love and care and support you. So where should we begin? Maybe wondering, who is she? How can she help me graduate from UCLA now that I got my acceptance letter, right? Well, while I can't help you graduate, sorry y'all, been there, done that, I can definitely be here as a source of inspiration and empowerment before you embark onto your next chapter. So my name is Rita Phetmixay. I go by the pronouns she, they, and boo. I'm a second-generation Lao Isan American, daughter of refugees. I'm a community builder, facilitator, therapist, coach, healing practitioner, podcaster, independent audio producer, and an award-winning filmmaker. And while I navigate these roles as my professional identities, I'm also balancing out, what does it mean to be a sister? What does it mean to be a daughter? And that Aquarian friend who loves to eat, twerk, and make people LOL. And I wish I could hear y'all's laughter with me right now. But y'all may be asking, so how can you hold so many titles? And better yet, where does she get her confidence? Well, let me tell you, it wasn't always a walk in the park to be where I am today. And like many of you, I have a story, and it began something like this. So imagine living in a country where turmoil between two political parties literally determined the life and death of your innocent civilian life. Imagine escaping your country of origin, leaving your entire family behind without getting to say goodbye. And you end up swimming across the river towards the next country. And you're this close to escaping death to only end up being captured and held captive for a period of time. Your humanity is questioned and prodded, and all you wanted to do was find safety. You're let go eventually, and your fear of traveling alone leads you to find one random person through a lucky connection to go with you to the next foreign country. You make an oath to protect and care for each other, and you barely met each other. But before y'all make the next jump to the next country where you will spend the rest of your lives. You both have to wait in desolate, less than humanely conditions of a refugee camp. Finally, you're interviewed, you pass, and y'all head off to a new place in hopes of restarting your life over again. So that is the story of my parents who are refugees. My dad is from Laos, and he fled the secret civil war, go to Thailand, and that's where he met my mother. They eventually took refuge to the US together with only 50 cents and the clothes on their backs. On December 14, 1988, they lived in Oakland, California, and began a new life as the only members of their families to leave their motherlands and search for safety and freedom. And then, if the violence that they experienced in Laos and Thailand wasn't enough, imagine ending up in a place where you're subjected to similar forms of gun violence and drug abuse happening in the very place you thought you were immune from it. So, seeing how violence within our own Lao community ran rampart in NorCal, my parents then decided to move our entire family to North Carolina and search for a safer place to raise children after the three oldest were born in California. Little did they know that they would trade one form of violence for another, none that they've ever experienced before, and that was racism in rural North Carolina. Then you think my parents were tired of fighting battle after battle, but no, this was just the beginning of another chapter in the book. So I remember growing up with white friends as a child of refugees who didn't understand my culture, but I was forced to understand theirs. I remember my dad telling me and my brothers when he would come home that a white coworker was flicking him off for not agreeing with the same political party as him. And I remember my brother moved to 4 different first grades because our family was trying to find the best schools for education. And finally, I remember waking up and wondering, how come I don't look like anyone else around me? Who am I? And where do I and my family belong in rural North Carolina? And just so you know, that was only half the battle, as home became an unsettling place as well. Especially growing up as a child of refugees, while I was trying to fit in school, my parents discouraged us as their children not to assimilate too much to American culture, as we were still supposed to adhere to mainly Lao values. It was a very confusing childhood, to say the least, and you bet that any type of personal issues I had to deal with was never brought up in the household. You got a bae? Oh, there was no such thing. You had a bad day? Get over it. You want to go over to your friend's place? Actually, have them come over. You want to watch movies? Bring out the VCR and stop wasting money by going to movie theaters. My parents believed in the old adage that if you can walk, talk, and run, that there shouldn't be anything wrong with you. And was there even such a thing as mental and emotional health? I mean, we survived a war and fled our countries for you to have a better life. Who are you to not be able to make good grades, do well in extracurriculars, earn scholarships, attend a 4-year university, graduate, and get a successful job and career? Don't make me lose face after we escaped the war so that you could have a good life here in America. While it's painful enough to not be seen by the world, there's another level of pain to not be seen by your family, and it's indescribable. Case in point is by no way to shame my parents for what they didn't know, but to truly recognize the journey of a child of refugees who just wanted to be loved for who she is. And now that I've gotten older, I've realized that my parents just spoke a different love language, one that I couldn't understand then, but I understand now, and I love them for doing the best they could with what they had at that time. Little do they know that they're so important for the story that I would one day write about myself. That story began to take fruition in the award-winning film Phetmixay, and then the eventual podcast and consulting platform I created titled Healing Out Loud, which explores loud asks for storytelling, healing, and tools for sustainability. Really, Healing Out Loud is a love note to all the children of refugees whom, similar to my story, experience multiple forms of violence and trauma, ranging from being misunderstood, questioned for being their authentic selves, neglect, abandonment, and so much more, while navigating both the culture at home and the culture in the external world. So Healing Out Loud is that platform for all the younger versions of ourselves. And more than love note, Healing Out Loud brings together a family space, one that welcomes all of you. We'll continue to be that safe space for you when you're ready to confront challenges holding you back from achieving true greatness. Just like Healing Out Loud has created a virtual space to affirm your truest selves, you also have a family already built in at UCLA. You are welcome wholeheartedly by the C Admit, a program designed to serve your unique needs as children of the C diaspora. This is your family. This is your community. As you walk onto this campus, it is my hope that this program will do what it takes to ensure you never have to leave who you are at the door while being a student here at UCLA. You're so welcome. Programs like C Admit exist to remind you why your voice matters, period. When I was a grad student at UCLA, I was the only Lao student in my program. I was the only Lao student in the Asian American Studies spaces in my classes. And it basically felt like I was the only Lao person in the entire university until I met one or two Lao students who were also incoming. But can you imagine being less than 1% of the entire body in the large prestigious university at UCLA? So yes, I am very proud of where I come from. I rep my people hard, and by being proud of where I come from, it also made it natural to bond with other C individuals and students with similar family histories who are also proud of where they come from. And what's beautiful about meeting other folks like you in this way is that you not only spread visibility for C voices, but you also inherit a built-in support system that is here to help you succeed. So trap your mentors. Yo, I am so serious about this. Make sure you find a good one here, okay? And mentors who are on this call, trap your mentees, all right? Make sure you provide that type of support you wish you had as an incoming first year at UCLA. Now, I'm so serious about this, y'all. And honestly, I can't imagine where I would be today and having created what I created without the C mentors who supported my dream and knew the struggle of growing up as a child of refugees, as a child of immigrants. And so being at UCLA, I was able to create a short documentary film about my people through the lens of my father and his escape from Laos to Thailand to the US. And that highlighted a different angle in Asian American studies, which is usually predominated by East Asian diaspora literature. And that film, it took me to over 10 different places across the nation. Not only was I able to create that, I also facilitated meaningful dialogues on campus that challenge issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I was the first Lao person to graduate with 2 master's degrees from UCLA, so that one day I can make real change in the communities I love and transform an entire global diaspora through what is now called Healing Out Loud. Yes, the podcast and consulting platform that I've created. So don't ever question your potential. And if you do, please be reminded, if a young Southeast Asian shawty like me could come from the South and transform UCLA and a global diaspora, you bet you will have the opportunity to in due time. And like I have faith that you're going to do it even better than me because you are the next generation. And I want to invite you to learn from me, learn from my mistakes. You have a voice and a responsibility for the people and the communities that you represent. And no, I'm not asking for you to be a martyr. And I'm not asking you to get burnt out so soon, but more so, I'm asking for you to use your voice and to use it strategically because it's powerful, whether you know it or not. And please recognize being a child of the Southeast Asian diaspora at UCLA is also no joke. So when you walk on this campus, you better feel your power. You better use your power. And don't ever forget where you come from because, that is your superpower here on campus. So as you enter these grounds as a first year child of the C diaspora, that's enough to set fire on this campus with the wisdom and talents you bring. So maybe it won't be so much about you utilizing UCLA's name to get you further in your future career, but maybe how will UCLA use your leadership to promote their brand forward? So how will you transform campus as a Southeast Asian diaspora leader, entrepreneur, scientist, artist, writer, publicist, chef, producer, or all the above? I mean, now more than ever, we need each other's leadership to recognize our humanity, especially in times of COVID-19, the public health crisis, and the rise of anti-Asian racism. I mean, we've dealt with so much that, and these, so much already that these times of crises really serves as a reminder that there's just more work to be done, and we can't do it alone. We have to have each other's backs and stronger together. We take care of one another. And so, as someone who considers herself as an older sister to many of you, my final asks are for you to bring curiosity, your openness, and self-reflection to the table. There will be times when you question why you're here. And so I just want to invite you to let that just be a thought. That has nothing to do with your actual talents and abilities to succeed here. Because who you are the successes of your lineage, your ancestors. And I'm sure they're all so proud of you and all the wisdom that you've been able to embody intergenerationally. So future Sea Bruins, please take care of yourself. Please take care of each other. Remember the reason for the season, the GalaxSEA of Possibilities. You are accepted for a purpose to embody your unique truths in the world. Keep each other accountable for the power that is within all of you. Support each other's goals and keep each other humble, first and foremost. We are our ancestors' wildest dream, and that is truly something remarkable to recognize. Congratulations once more, Sea family. I am so proud of you and the village that raised you. Welcome to your next chapter, and please, by all means, enjoy it and thrive. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yay, thank you so much, Rita. Yes, thank you. On behalf of everyone here, thank you for your inspiring words. One of the main goals of Sea Admit is to empower our participants to reflect on their identity and community, and you have set a beautiful example with your story, especially your focus on thriving. It reminds me of how our publicity team incorporated a lotus, similar to the one seen in your Healing Out Loud logo, into our 2020 GalaxSEA of Possibilities theme. And this symbolizes the possibility of growth through resilience. So thank you so much, Rita, for sharing your insight. And thank you to our audience for your attention. And that concludes our 2020 Sea Admit keynote.